It's amazing, you know, from the start to finish, and the elements, the chakra work, you know, nature, the meditations, like all of it. It's all in its right moment. You know, the journey of the 4 days is really beautifully constructed, and it makes sense and it ties in together. And we're all broken open in some way. I saw it in all of us. You know, I learned things that I didn't know. I learned new things I've got to forgive myself for that I just didn't think that they were the thing. You and Rajni have created a peaceful place, magically weave together and hold the space for all of the energies and the souls that are in the room, you know, all nervous, getting to know each other. Like, you know, it's a delicate art and skill, and, you know, what you're receiving is really delicately handled. Hello, I'm Fiona, and I currently live in Brisbane. I am a manager of a coffee company, and I have a pretty fast-paced working life. I'm a mum, and I was a lost soul.
And what are you now?
I've been steered into a direction, so I'm following a path, and it's been lit with a little speckle of moonlight, so yeah.
I'll invite you to cast your mind back to, is it Wednesday that you arrived?
Yeah.
You had a big trip because you came down from Brisbane.
Yeah, I did, and it's funny because on my way down, I got a lot of fear in the car as I was driving, and it's funny because, you know, this is something my heart's been yearning for a long time. You know, and I actually have a thing where I don't really know who to turn to at the moment. Like, I don't know who to speak to. So really nervous and scared and vulnerable, but yeah, it was just interesting to see my nervousness come through, and just the unknown, I suppose, of what to expect.
What was it that drew you to the soul retreat?
It was the authenticity. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty smart human and can sift through bullshit.
Yeah.
And more than that, there's a resonance to things that are right for me and not right for me. So it was when you spoke, and I listened the whole thing, you know, the message was authentic, you know. And then when I read through more, went all the way to the end of your stories and got credit for reading right to the very end of the story. Everything was just real. It's how I wanted to be. I don't want the massages and the, you know, flowers on the bed. I want to be pushed, you know.
It's an interesting word, being, you wanted to push or grow, you know, maybe is another word as well. Why do you want to get pushed?
I want to be pushed because I know that I'm so strong, and I understand that my ego is so strong. As much as I, you know, can tell myself, or my ego will tell me that I've got my ego in check and it's tempered. Yeah. Like, I'm sure that the ego has blocked enough kind of spiritual experiences or moments of potentiality where I could have pushed through a blockage through different therapies, where I've said, like, no, I'm going to go. So,
and where did those, like, so if you have pushed away from cracking into that new depth, what does that end up leaving you feel?
Just, there's always been this emptiness inside of me, and I've not known what to fill it with. So I've used different vices and methods, good and bad, you know, to fill it. And I guess it's just an inner dialogue of negative resentment, self-loathing, you know, worthlessness, all of the, you know, the things that many of us do tell ourselves. And so that monster inside just bigger and bigger and bigger.
What are the escapes for you? Like, what when that pattern and conditioning and the negative self-talk and the pain gets a grip, what does it push you to do?
You know, sex or alcohol or, you know, weed or whatever, I'll always find something to try and, you know, not look at myself and face it. And I have goals, you know. I know that my soul is higher than that and has different goals than sitting in a pit of self-loathing at 11 o'clock at night and going, if I could do that again, you know.
Yes.
So yeah.
Did you find that work has been something that you've used to hide from yourself?
Oh, 100%. That's probably my biggest aholicness is workaholicness. And it was actually my kids that said it to me, you know, a few months ago, you know, are you a workaholic? And I was like, I don't think so. I'm just like, I've got a job I've got to do sort of thing. It's like, no, you know.
What do you feel now after the retreat? What's emerging as a priority for you?
It is about, it's the practice, you know, it's as simple as the practice now. And it's, you know, I could give you the answer that maybe is in a month's time or 2 months' time, but for right now, it's about dedication to the practice, allowing and being open to receiving, and that's.
Sounds like you're the priority.
It is. I am the priority. That is the priority. Is you've got to hold it, you know, with the care and love. I'll be okay. I'll be fine. You know, I know I'll get there.
You know, every group is unique. Every retreat is unique. But one commonality is the kinship that emerges at the end of the retreat.
Yeah.
So we come from this where we're all like besties and we know each other's deep dark secrets and we're real with each other. We're authentic. And then, so we leave on this high, and then the next group come in, and now it's 2 months to the next retreat. But, you know, and it's like everyone's in that kind of self-protective, like, okay, I'm gonna lower my guards down, and we're like, we know where you'll be in 5 days. Trust me. And so, you know, it can be a very interesting first 24 hours. You know, we went through the retreat, and Rajni and I shared our story. How did that impact you when you got to know us a little bit better and what had happened on our journeys?
I mean, I'm not a small talk person. I can only connect with truth. So I connected with the truth, you know, that came from both of you. I mean, your energy, I get the Aries ascendant in you big time. I've got a lot of Aries in my life, and I truly love that childlike, you know, brilliance that is you. And, you know, your intellect and your spiritual intelligence is and your ability to express is really articulate. And I mean, I know I said this before, but like it's a true credit to you and your experiences. And you know, you've received it, but you're the one that's, you know, bringing it forward. And like, I don't know how you actually managed to speak for 4 days to us so eloquently. You know, you didn't miss a trick, you know, like it's a real credit to you. Like, honestly.
There's been some work, but the more that I've gone through the devotional practice, to really have that anchor in my devotional practice, I'm like, give responsibility, hand over ego, okay, give me the energy, give me the words, give me the capacity to guide, and then I'm like, empty myself and boom, and then it's like stuff, it comes through. Now it obviously comes from within and it draws from all of my personal experience, but you know, my heart is deeply with what I've asked to guide me, and that I had to get bashed before I asked for that level of help. What were the standout activities for you, if there was 1 or 2 things that you found to be, you know, super memorable?
I enjoyed every discourse, actually, probably would be the, you know, really served my hunger to learn and know. The nature, actually, I feel like just being here and, you know, hearing even all of it, actually, sorry, but, you know, I really enjoyed I love waking up. Like, there was one morning where I was like, oh, I could sleep in today. But as soon as I was here in the yurt, I'm just energized. You know, this morning was like, I was so rested. I had less sleep than any of the nights, and I felt so rested and just, really just feel really so much more grounded. here. And there's still, it's not like you've said, there's stuff still going on, but it's just a settling of, okay, this is emerging. I can look at that.
How do you feel? How do you feel in terms of the guidance that was offered you?
I had an opportunity to have a bit of time with you yesterday, one-on-one. I mean, I know you're here all the time. I can grab you anytime for a one-on-one or whatever. But I feel like the guidance was in every part of it. The guidance is as you walk in the door and you leave your shoes outside. The guidance is in, I mean, I actually really liked I like the quiet, like the quiet from 9, quiet before whatever it was, 7. But yeah, the guidance is everywhere. It's about respect and community and which I value and appreciate. So yeah.
Awesome.
And then great discourse and great practice and knowledge and all of the things. And the yurt, I really appreciated being here in your space. I don't take any of it lightly. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, and when you called up a couple of months ago, a month or two ago, compared to how you're feeling now, what's shifted for you?
2 months ago versus say yesterday, the difference was that the raw feeling that I had when I called you and I was holding back tears or had a few tears and said I'm going to be, hey, can you handle some tears, and I'm not a basket case, but could get ugly sort of thing, and you're like, so we're good. I guess yesterday was more, it's all there, but it's like it's in cotton wool. It's like it's being held in a different way to before. The shit doesn't go away necessarily. I guess over time things improve gradually, but it's just the feeling of like it's almost like there's a little cotton wool or a cloud holding it. There's a little bit of light holding the pain, and like I can handle it.
Yeah. And that's like I when you say that, I see a seed growing in the cotton wool, and it's at this precious stage because it's had to go through the pain of splitting and destroying its identity as a seed.
Yeah.
But as the new growth comes out, it's like, what? And so this next little phase for you, having a bit of structure, getting into the practice, how do you feel that the retreat has equipped you to go forward for the next, immediate chapter of a month or two?
With all of the different things that we went through together, all of the souls, all of the humans that we're here, there's enough in that for you to, well, do I want to go or do I not want to go? And if you do want to go down that path of following through with the practice, then you've given the tools to, to hold it together. There's that, I think it's a little bit, it ties back to the start where you and Rajani shared your story. There's nothing like it's, and I probably do remember the 3 things, but having that faith or belief that it will work, and you guys are there telling your truth, and I relate to most of the things that you both shared. All of us we're all broken open in some way. I saw it in all of us. I learned things that I didn't know. I learned new things I've got to forgive myself for that I just didn't think that they were the thing. And so there's plenty of work to do.
Yeah.
But I'm determined, and I feel connected to you both. I feel connected to this place now.
Yeah.
I feel connected to Swamiji, so there's something here, I want to go on a pilgrimage with you guys when you can, like all of it. So yeah.
If you could give a message back to maybe someone, potentially your old self who might be looking for this, or someone else who might be in a bit of a tailspin, what would you say to them?
If you're hurting, if your soul is lost, if the pain is too great, if there's more. This is a perfect step. It's not going to be a wrong step if you come to the ashram and spend your time at the soul retreat. It absolutely, you're not going to get a bum steer.
Yeah, well, that's. I think that's pretty well put.
Just come. Just come. Just do what you do. Just don't even think about it. You know, if you're here, if you're looking, if you're listening to this, you know, then if you get this far, then you should just come.
Thank you. That's compelling and true, because like that's the attitude I have when people are like, oh, I don't know, and I'm like, we've seen a lot of people that have been in your situation, and I know it'll be good for you. Oh, is it going to work? I'm like, it's going to work. If you trust the process, it will work. But we cannot force people to show up.
Yeah.
They have to want to come, and that's 90% of the battle. The second that people go, yep, I'm in, the shift has happened.
Yeah.
Or even, yes, I need to shift something, boom, that's a massive step that most people aren't even aware of.
I think, you know, like people have got to take ownership of themselves, you know, like there is no quick fix, you know, you can get drunk to cover up your pain. That's not a quick fix, you know, this isn't not this place, but, you know, it's not the spiritual path is not the easiest path. I do think that ignorance is probably some form of bliss, but I have higher goals for my soul, so I have to be on this path. I have to be here. So I was a lost soul.
And what are you now?
I've got been steered into a direction, so I'm following a path, and it's been lit with a little speckle of moonlight. So yeah.
Moonlight. It's the feminine.
Yeah. On the little peel, there's a little, I don't know what it is, but I'll have to show you. It's like a tiny little silver speck, like this, I don't know what it is.
It's a gift from the land to you.
Right on my alley.